October 2nd, 1980 was a bittersweet day for boxing and for heavyweight champion Muhammad Ali. On this day in history, Ali fought his 7th and final fight in Las Vegas against Larry Holmes. Ali agreed to come out of retirement for the fight, which was dubbed the Last Hurrah. Promoters originally set the bout in Brazil, but the superintendent of the Rio de Janeiro stadium opposed the plan, saying it would destroy the soccer grass. So, legendary promoter Don King moved the fight to Caesar's Palace. Holmes dominated the bout from the first bell. In fact, he expressed concerns about Ali's health mid-match, saying he wasn't mounting a strong defense. Ali would not only lose, but never fight in Vegas again. It was later revealed he was suffering from Parkinson's disease. Ali's former ring doctor later said the promoters should have been arrested for allowing the fight to go forward.